Hebrew kingdom building.
So, a real interesting thing that we saw surrounding in this Torah portion, we saw how stubborn Pharaoh was, huh? Yeah, Pharaoh was stubborn, huh? Pharaoh was a textbook narcissist, y'all. He was. Textbook narcissist, y'all. He couldn't receive no correction. The Most High was visiting him himself through Moshe. Moshe was an allure to him and telling him, hey, let my people go or else these judgments will come upon you. And the Pharaoh, he'll be like, man, nah. And then, all right, Moshe, okay, Most High. Then the judgments will just rain on him. That last judgment in the Torah portion was the hell. Just coming down, tearing up everything. Tearing up all the livestock, tore up everything. And then Pharaoh will come out. Like, this is like that. Yeah, listen, this is what narcissists do. Like, this is textbook narcissism. And he'll come out, man, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Man, my bad, man. I sinned against the Most High. Man, my fault. And Moses will be like, all right, well, just let them go. That's all you got. Just let them go. I'll go to the Most High, but just don't change your mind this time, okay? And then the scripture will say, and once he realized everything was through, and he would not let them go. Y'all, a narcissist really is just somebody who the Most High hardened their heart. For real. Everybody's seen it again except him. Like, man, the Most High. Even the magicians, after that third or fourth time, they're like, man, look, this is the hand of the Most High, man. Look, we're not able to do this. We're like, man, nah, I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna let them go. I need y'all to do more work. Okay, I'll let you go just a little bit. You just go down there. They're like, no, this ain't. Moshe like, man, what do you think this is? This ain't like a negotiating thing. You're not finna negotiate with Yahuwah. You either gonna let them go or this finna happen. Let them go or that finna happen. And he wouldn't relent until the consequences hit. And the relenting was only temporary because as soon as as soon as things was through, like, okay, nah, never mind. No, I'm not gonna let them go. That's where we at. The same thing with King Saul. Y'all know the story of King Saul? Is there anybody who does not know the story of King Saul? Okay. I think it's more than the two, but I told out for y'all honesty. I think it's more than that. But yeah, just kind of the general story. But I just want y'all to look at the specific part of the story. Okay, I want y'all to look at the specific part. All right, I'm just going to explain it, okay? But y'all can, for time, I'm just going to explain it, but y'all can read this yourself on your own time in First Samuel, the book of First Samuel. But King Saul, listen, I'm just going to explain it to y'all for times. King Saul was the first king of Yasharal. He was the first king of Israel, okay? The children of Israel, at first, everyone was just moving. This is the whole book of Judges is this whole thing where everybody was just moving and doing what was right in their own eyes. Israel didn't have no unity. It was just crazy. So then finally you go to 1 Samuel, and the children of Israel, they're asking for a king. They want a king like the other nations. The Most High wasn't pleased with that. The Most High told Samuel, they coming against me. Don't worry about it, And so, nevertheless, King Saul became anointed by the Most High to be king, okay? King Saul started, this is when Dawid rose up, and he rose up as and killed Goliath. Dawid was a youngster at this time. When Dawid, King David, killed Goliath, it was King Saul who actually put David pretty much covered David, brought him up under his wings. You see what I'm saying? After King David, because Saul was wild. King David he wasn't qualified to try to fight no Goliath. Didn't nobody else want to fight Goliath though. Goliath was a giant. He was wild. Goliath probably already killed. He probably had 100 bodies just from that war, just of Yasharel itself, just from that war. So they wasn't trying to, man, Goliath was in it. And then Goliath was talking, blaspheming the Most High and everything. You know why? He was the seed of the fallen. The seed of the fallen are blasphemous. They're always going to blaspheme the Most High because they're of the fallen. They are of Sheol. So you got Goliath, he just talking down. Like, yeah, woo the woo. Who gonna holler? What's up? What's happening? Who gonna get with me though? Who wants some? And then he starts saying stuff against the Most High. And all of Yasharel was just like, look here. And that probably made him real prideful then when he saw everybody was scared. Yeah. And that's why this and that. And that's why y'all mama this and that. And your mama too. And that's why. Then he started talking against the Most High some more. Then you had this little youngster named King David. Well, his name was just David at the time. He was a shepherd. He was like, man, who's this dude talking against Yahuwah like that? He tried to go up to different people. Man, y'all see that? This dude, and they all sitting there. David trying to go up to some of the souls. They all sitting there like, man, look here, man. I'm trying to go home tonight, man. I ain't trying to. David like, what? Y'all just gonna let this dude talk against the Most High like that? Oh no. He went up to King Saul. I can't remember the specific. I think he went up to King Saul, something like that. He's like, man, I'll do it, King Saul. I'll do it. I'll fight him. Nobody will fight him. You know what King Saul did? May the Most High be with you. Go ahead. Boy, man, Saul was wild. He ain't care nothing about nobody, boy. And I bet you in his mind, he thought, he finna just get killed, man. That's wild. Man, look, if you want to do it, you know what I'm saying? Here my armor. And Saul, remember, this is this dude, Dawid was young. Saul was a big ox. So the scriptures say that the armor was too heavy. So Saul wouldn't even go and find no armor that would fit him. Saul wouldn't even come on. He could have went, come on, man. This is the king of Yasharel. He could have went and found some armor for David, y'all. Come on. Hey, man, go get one of the locksmiths, man, and go, hold on, Dave. Don't fight him yet. Hold on. We're going to get one of the locksmiths, get you something now so you have some armor on at least. He ain't do none of that. He like, man, here, you can wear my armor, man. You can just put this on. That mug was too heavy. It was too big. So the scriptures say Dawid was just like, oh, no. He just took it off and went before Goliath with no armor. Goliath, y'all, a giant who probably was knocking out people left and right. Battle hard. These people, the Philistines had dominion, man. They were soldiers. They were soldiers for real. That's why they didn't go that way. Yeah. So we know the story. Dawid, he went on. He had so they was expecting Dawid to try to fight him like most people do, which is with the sword and stuff like that, and go, no, you can't do that with no Goliath. But it was something that Dawid had some access to some revelation, y'all. Because we talked about this some years ago, but I do believe that was like the first gun. Because he took the slingshot and he shot him, and the scripture say it literally went through his head. The stone went through his head, and when you look at the first guns was the bullets was just made from stone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it was smooth stones. Yeah, that's a bullet. Yeah. Literally went through his head and he died. So he had some sort of projectile technology that he probably got from this. He probably got in a vision or something. Yahuwah probably showed him that, y'all. For him to have that type of confidence to be like, man, I'll fight him. And he was, yeah, I'm gonna shoot him. I'm not finna. Didn't nobody know that at the time. And man, Goliath probably tried to rush him with that sword. He hurried up. Boom. That mug, the scripture said that mug went through his head, y'all. It's like somebody getting shot, y'all. Then he ran up on him and then beheaded him after he fell out and died. He ran up on him and beheaded him. Yeah, after that, Saul was like, oh, no, that's my ark right there. Yeah, the scriptures literally say that. King Saul took him. He was under his father's house. Took him and put him under his wing, and he ended up being like the right-hand man of Saul. That incident alone took David from just being a regular ark to the top dog. Like, he was famous after that. Why am I bringing this up? This is why I'm bringing this up, because Saul was like he was a huge narcissist. Oh, man. This is how, man, this is narcissist stuff, man. He could have gave David the armor. He ain't do that. He just try to do whatever's convenient for him. Like, I got this armor right here, you just put it on. Oh, man, this mug don't fit. Oh, well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna just go out there and go to war. All right, well, the Most High be with you. Someone who was not a narcissist would have been like, oh, no, that ain't, no, you too young. You just gonna go out there and get killed, man. Don't do that, man. Let me just see. In other words, you just can't go out there, man. Just don't worry about it right now. For real. But the Most High used the narcissism to his benefit. And it went how it went. But this is what happened after this. So then now Dawid is going out and warring. He's Saul's right-hand man. So now Dawid, when Saul, because Saul, he went out to war against everybody. It was certain times where he even warred against people the Most High actually didn't give him the green light to do. He'll just war with them, kill everybody anyway. And there were times he got in trouble because it was like he was going to war even when times when he wasn't supposed to. You know what I'm saying? And Dawid was his right-hand man going in, knocking down everybody. And there was this one time where Saul had subdued this nation, and the females started singing about her. They said, Saul kills 8,000s, but David kills his 10,000s. That 10,000 might mean multitude. I got to look at the word. Saul killed his 1,000 and David killed his 10,000. Now this is the narcissistic. This is how you know he was a full blown. He got jealous. That was your right hand man. That's your young ark. You the elder. You supposed to be proud of him. He got jealous, y'all. He got jealous and went after David's life. Actually wanted David's life now after that. With the narcissism is that you easily get jealous, easily get envious of people, easily. Even the people who you would like, a narcissist, they'll get jealous of their own children. Oh man, you'll have mothers resenting their daughters because they jealous of their own daughters, man. Their daughter have a success and they jealous because it wasn't their success. That's crazy. Always jealous, always envious, always comparing. I submit that was a big part of why even Pharaoh wouldn't just let him go. Hold on, who's this Allure? Because I'm Allure. If y'all know how it was in ancient Egypt, the pharaohs believed they was Allures. The sons of light were set apart to subdue the fallen ones. The sons of light were set apart to have dominion over the fallen ones. That's why all throughout the scriptures, this is what we talked about last night, all throughout the scriptures, you saw the children of Israel, killing giants left and right. Killing the fallen seed left and right. That was a big goal. That was a big function. for Yasharel. That's why King David was a giant killing specialist. He was, to the point to where he raised up 400. 400 that was just like him. They duplicated him because they were submitted to him, and they was out there killing giants left and right, cutting them down with the sword. And that's how Dawid was able to have dominion over the Eretz. It's about bringing the kingdom of the Shamaim onto the Eretz. It's about the kingdom of Shamaim having dominion over the Eretz. Sheol, it's about Sheol no longer having dominion on the Eretz. It's about the difference between being like a Tamar, being mentioned forever, for generations, your name in the book, being mentioned forever in the generation, or just being another person who just a blip in history who never was known for nothing. It's about doing something that can shift your generations forever, shift eternity versus just living life and being normal. That's why I'm gonna keep talking about, man, look, if you're just trying to be normal, this ain't gonna, it's just not, you ain't gonna be able to be here and be normal. Because the things that we are doing is way above and beyond us. It's about establishing the kingdom of the Shamaim on the Eretz. All praise to the Most High.
Oh, I remember what it was. So on the prep day call last night, one of the things, I put a comment in there, we didn't get to them though, but how when you look at Deuteronomy 2, and I think you went into this too though, I had just walked away and I came back, you was on Deuteronomy 2, but how pretty much all the people that killed the giants was of the descendants of Shem. And that's why that definition you gave makes sense. So I was wondering, I was like, man, so of Shem, you had like, it talked about like Ammon, which is the descendant of Lot, Moab, Edom. All of these are descendants of Shem. But it's almost as if Judah is the one that is like the captain of the army in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Because they was destroying giants. When you look at the Philistines and the Canaanites, they were unable to overtake them. Even we know very little about the people that Esau took over, Horites. We know very little about them, but we know they was giants. Like they done found like bones and things like that of them people up in the mountains. There's a YouTube guy that goes through a lot of that, but nah, it makes a lot of sense how it's like bringing light to chaos, and I'm wondering if that aligns with Bereshit 1 too. When he separated the light from the darkness, so the sons of light from the sons of darkness. And it's just important to realize like the function that we have. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she about to write up there. Hallelujah.
Yeah, so she's going to put, no, that's huge. So that's the Hebrew word Shem, okay? That's the word for name. Sheen, Mem, okay? And so what Bakir Yamin was talking about, so we was talking about this on the prep day call, that all like the descendants of Shem were the ones who were like, it's like they was killing all the giants in the scriptures. Even in Genesis 14, the Table of Nations, it talks about Shedelaramar. He was the king of Elam. The Elamites are the descendants of Shem. You can just go on and on. They were killing giants left and right. Shem, pressing the nations. Shem, pressing the nations. Y'all feel that? Get what I'm saying? To press the nation or to destroy the nations. Or you can even say this. Light invading the darkness, or the light against the darkness. Because remember, the sheen also can mean light, like a lamp. And the mem can also mean darkness. That's in the name of Shem. This is the book of Shem, Shemot. And that's what you saw. That's what you saw. Yeah, but I'll praise to the Most High.
So jump into the Q&A. Ima Oria, so we're at 340. Ima Oria said, that's what it means when we say we are not of this world, the world, nation of Babylon. Yeah, Babylon and colonized the whole world, y'all. So that's why Mushal's talked about this before. That's why it don't make sense to be like, yeah, let's go to Africa. Mm-hmm. To what extent? Like, Babylon's colonized Africa. Kaya said, this Amudah thing. Last night, Yahuwah had me read and study John 17, and it was about Yahusha praying, and he was saying how we aren't of this world, but just in it. Facts. I pray not for those who are of the world, but those who are mine in the world. So when you talked about Shemot 6:9, when Musha says, so Musha spoke thus to the children of Israel, but they did not heed Musha because of anguish of Ruach and cruel bondage. So I was talking about that with Isha on the way up here, how that did not change the mission. Like the very next verse says, and then Yahuwah spoke to Musha saying, go in and tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to let the children of Israel go out of his hand. Like he didn't say, all right, well, just go give them all the ruka. All right, well, yeah, they sad, so let's just have counseling sessions. Nah, he was like, oh man, they not listening to me, Most High, because they Ruach heard they in this bondage, and Yahuwah like, all right, go talk to Pharaoh now. I was like, man, that's so through. We gonna be there. We gonna get there. That's where we at, honestly. Like the mission, the kingdom going forward, it really don't, like the anguish of Ruach and stuff, you got a time to be healed. And now it's time to build. Bekir Ezra, Hadassah, on the names, it makes me think about how on Reclaiming the Throne, we saw that so many names of our ancestors who came over here had some form of Yahuwah in it. Then they had to take on the name of their slave masters. Mm-hmm. Shama Israel. I mean, you can do that quieter, though. It don't take all that. She put the word Amram in here. I think she underlined it. Goodness gracious. Underlined exalted people. Did you underline that on purpose, Shama? Hallelujah. Khan, exalted people. Oh, that's the name of that's the meaning of his name. Mm-hmm. That's dude. Oh, and then Yokabed means Yahuwah is kabod. Yeah, that makes sense. Yah kabod. Radayahu. Sit down. The names are related to dominion as well. That's why you name your children. They don't name themselves. Facts. Hold on, man. I'm going to read that again. Hold on. The names are related to dominion as well. That's why you name your children. They don't name themselves. Man, that's a mouthful right there. I have never heard a baby come out and say, this is what my name is. Ever. And I got 6 of them. That's a mouthful, because that means that it's the parents that give the identity. It's the parents that give the function. So he said, being named by Yahuwah is him taking dominion over us from Babylon as spoils of war. It shows who your Adon is. Put it back. It shows who your Adoni is. A lot of times, new names come after Aruka. Khan. Yep. Yes, dude. Hoda. Deuteronomy 6:7. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. Teach them diligently. I believe you did a teaching how that word is sharpened. Yeah, it's Shanan, I think. Sharpen the children so that when it's time, they're ready to be shot forth as bows. Psalm 127:4. Khan, that's it. She said, name Shem, Shin Mem, to be separated from the nations. Your name separates you from other nations.
Khan. So that's another way to look at that as well. Because Yahuwah did say he did what? He separated the light from the darkness. He did say that. So it could, it's a lot of layers to that, man. That Shem is crazy. That's why you see Shin Mem in a lot of the words, y'all. We talked about that Moshe, Mushal. It's a lot of words. The words for even the oil is Shemin. It's literally Shin Mem Nun. The word for like oil to anoint somebody, you're setting them apart for a work. They're anointed to do that work and so on and so forth. And then we know the oil is also used to what? To cause the light to shine. The light to shine is going to do what? Separate the darkness. So it's just a whole lot with that. But yeah, very thorough.
Yeah, that Shem, so that Shin can mean to divide.
Yeah.
So like to divide darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Ooh, snap.
Yeah, because that's what light does when it invades. I mean, it kind of divides it. Like it splits it in two. Take a note. Shoshone.
Con, do I need to do the honors? No, wait. No. Olam, Hudim, Yehu, and Yahusha. Yehu, and Yahusha. Kaf. Imishpa. Imishpa. Melech Yahuwah and Melech Yahusha. Or Melech Musha and yeah, y'all get it. Kafel Hudim and Hudim where they are due. Praise Yahuwah. Kafel Hudim that. Look, we still learning. I just wanted to talk about the names and how significant that is because with my children, their names had a lot of value. I didn't really notice it but when I was out there, we had put my oldest one, he went into public schools first. And I would just be like at home because I was a stay-at-home mom for about 8 years. So I was at home, just doing chores and doing whatever I was doing. And I get a phone call and it's Shamrowan School. They'd be like, is this the parent of Shamrowan? And I'm like, yes. They was like, yeah, this is the public school. We just want to let you know that your son is like doing through. He's amazing. He's an amazing student. And I was just like, oh, okay. Praise Yahuwah. Then it would be like the next week I'll get another call. Hey, is this the parent of Shamrowan? And I'm like, yes. And they were like, yeah, this is the public school. We just want to let you know that your son's exceeding and he's paying attention. He's just a very through student. And I was just like, oh, wow, praise Yahuwah. Next month, Shamrowan's coming home with like awards and a whole bunch of certificates. And then we had put our daughter into school, and I get a call. Hey, is this the parent of Shamrowan and Shamira? I'm like, yes. And they was like, oh, well, your children, they're just exceeding. Everyone loves them. The teachers love them. And I was just like, oh, wow, praise Yahuwah. And then the next month, is this the parent of Shamrowan and Shamira? And I'm like, yes. Well, this is the principal of the school. And we just want to let you know that you have some through children. They pay attention. They always on time. They always helpful. So it's like really significant on the name. So Shamrowan's name is like guardian. His middle name is Gabar. I believe it's warrior, guardian warrior. And we put him in mixed martial arts. And he was just exceeding. I'm talking about tearing dudes up left and right. And I'm just like, dang. So yeah, I just wanted to, the names are significant. It's really significant. And then another thing is I was reading the Torah portion. And I was like, dang, Pharaoh seems like a whole full-blown narcissist. And it was just like he was trying to, it was almost he was trying to like, okay, yeah, go ahead, y'all can leave. But then it's just that pride that got to him was like, no, y'all ain't going nowhere. And he was just like, I'm like, dang, like just let them go. Like let them leave. And right when Moses was like, okay, look, I'm gonna go tell Yahuwah to calm the storms and calm the hail and all those other things, it was just like, all right, yeah, go ahead and do that. And the dude was probably plotting the whole time, but at the end, Yahuwah had to say the last say so. But yeah.
Yeah, like that was a big part of Pharaoh's narcissism, is that just holding on to things that Yahuwah said let go. That's something that, like, when the Most High say to let go of something, you better let it go. A lot of people there, the storms they have to deal with, the trials and things like that. A lot of times it's surrounded around just not letting go of certain things that you had been told you to let go of that. You had been told you to release that, but you still holding on to it. And so now here comes the judgments. Here come the fleas, distractions. Here comes the gnats. Here comes the swarms. Here comes the frogs. Here comes the lack. I mean, for real, like, people be dealing with lack and dealing with storms like that and things, and a lot of times the lack is really based off of them not letting go of what you told them to let go of a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And so now all your water is blood. All your flocks is getting killed off. When you just gotta let go what Yahuwah says to let go. It's about sacrificing what he tells you to sacrifice. It's about releasing what he tells you to release. And it could even be surrounding an aruka, like it's surrounding like unforgiveness. Look, man, let it go. Look, I know your uncle did you bad when you was 4. Most High wants you to let it go. And it can be just because you're not letting that go, all kind of issues is happening in your life, and you don't even know why, but the root of it is literally because you haven't released certain things the Most High told you to release, because you haven't forgave your uncle from when you was 3, or because you haven't let go of the bitterness, or you haven't let go of the unforgiveness or resentment, or because you haven't let go of the anger. Right. Let it go. Like, sometimes, man, we can be like Ruako hoarders. Nah, I ain't trying to let that go. I ain't trying to let that go right now. I might want to pull that out of my back pocket one day. I might need that. If I let that go and be all nice and soft, I might can get taken advantage of. What if I get, I might start looking weak if I be too nice to my spouse. You would have told you to let that go, what your spouse did 2 years ago. You holding on to it because your mind, I mean, if I let that go, my spouse might start back doing it again. You have these things in your mind, or my spouse might start trying to take advantage of me. Man, none of that matter. If you would say let it go, let it go. And all kind of things will pile on top of pile because you literally been holding on to something that Most High told you a long time ago to let go. And a lot of that, I'm telling you, a lot of that is based off of narcissism. One thing about narcissists, they just don't let stuff go. They don't. They hold on to everything. Because it's always, I got to have it in my back pocket just in case. And narcissists, they specialists with back pocket stuff, boy. Everything they do, they holding on to.
Yeah, he like bag lady.
Man, I'm telling you, any kind of, I mean, even if they do something nice to, and you think it's out of ahava, As soon as you It could be years down the line. Remember when I had did that for you? Remember? How could you get mad because I slapped you? Remember I gave you the $5 when you asked? Remember that, right? Like, man, they hold on to everything. Don't try to, listen, don't be vulnerable with no narcissists, man. They gonna put, man. You being vulnerable, you telling them sensitive things because you think that y'all tight like that. Yeah, y'all be tight until they get mad about something. Mm-hmm. That's that back pocket. That's why, and they'll air you out. Whoop-de-woo. That's why I'm like even repenting to narcissists, man. Y'all be coming up to me wanting to repent to narcissists. I'll be like, man, let me pray on that. I just don't think you should. Because they gonna hit you with that when they get mad, they gonna hit you with that. They gonna say they forgive you. Narcissists don't forgive, y'all. They steeped in unforgiveness, steeped in it. So it'll be 10 years later, and you think you through, and y'all get into about something, they're gonna bring that up too. Well, you woo-de-woo. You be like, man, I had told that to you in confidence. You know, I ain't want you to throw that back in my face. Well, it's in your face now. Because you woo-de-woo and you had did it. You're like, oh, man. Oh, just take heed, y'all. Just take heed. Because, like the Malek said, there's no, that was a Malcolm said that, no narcs in the ark. Because, look, the reality is that narcissist people, those are people who they're like sealed a lot of times. You know, I'm not saying that it's not impossible for a narc to get. I'm trying to think if I've seen it. So there's a difference between having narcissistic tendencies and being a full-blown narcissist, though. Now we can always look at, you know, and be like, man, I need to fix that. I can see that. Yeah, I be doing that sometimes. But that automatically shows that you're not a full-blown narcissist, because a full-blown narcissist, they're not going to ever see themselves on nothing. Yeah, no, they'll literally be, everything will be talking about them. They'll watch the Alex do the narcissist teaching. You'll be trying to get your narcissist wife or husband to watch the narcissist teaching, and they'll literally watch that whole thing and will not see that have nothing to do with them. Right. Oh, that's messed up. Yeah, that remind me of my cousin. Ain't that like Cousin Jenny? And you'll be sitting there like, this is what you mean, it's you. They'll even call you out. Oh yeah, see, you be doing that right there sometime. Like you didn't, the whole thing was about you. You be doing, and that one thing, that's all you saw? Was the one thing that pertained to me. So even you being able to say, even you having enough in you to be able to be like, man, hold on, I be doing that sometimes, man. I need to seek the Most High and try to make sure I'm not doing that. Right. That actually is showing that you actually are not a narcissist, but there may have been some things through traumas that cause you to have some narcissistic tendencies and to do some things that narcissists do, and you can, you know, move forward in that through repentance, through healing, and maybe even deliverance, and who will heal you in there. You see what I'm saying? But listen, full-blown narcissists, they end up like Pharaoh. They end up being used by the Most High just for destruction, to make literally, Most High used Pharaoh to destroy. He's like, yeah. He told Moshe, I need you to go up to him and tell him, he's not going to do it, he's not going to hear you. But you just got to go up there and tell him to let my people go. And Moshe was like, he's not going to listen to you though. That's a tough mission. You got to go up there, but you know you're going to get rejected. I really feel like Moshe probably thought, well, after this third judgment, he'll probably do it, because I don't think Moshe knew that I know the Most High told him he was going to harden his heart, but I really don't think Moshe knew everything. When the scriptures say, then Most High hardened his heart, I don't think like Moshe knew that every time. All he knows is, man, he said he's going to let him go. Woo, all praise to the Most High. Man, told our Most High. And then it says that Pharaoh relented, like, yeah, nah, never mind, I ain't doing it. And so, like, you just want to, because, man, Like the Most High just used him to make an example out of him, so that everybody can see how Yahuwah did Pharaoh and be like, man, we need to follow the Most High. For real. For real. So I'll praise to the Most High.
So that you see that in Pharaoh, you see it in Pharaoh's people, because you remember the hell was coming, and they're like, all right, y'all, go get your animals and your servants, bring them in the house. And it says that those who feared the word of Yahuwah was like, I mean, it's kind of been crazy around here. So maybe every time he say something, it happens. So y'all, you know what? Y'all just come on in. But other people was like, nah, y'all go work. And it says that the hell destroyed the crops, the livestock, and the people. So what that was showing me is that like this, being a narcissist is connected to having a stiffened neck, because Deuteronomy, let me see, I had it, looked it up earlier. It's Deuteronomy 2 something. Anyway, I can't remember where it is. It might be 7, Deuteronomy 2 or 7, but it says, he tells the people to circumcise your hearts and don't have a stiff neck. Let me just look. I don't want to quote it wrong. It's the foreskin of your heart. Deuteronomy 10:16. Therefore circumcise the foreskin of your heart and be stiff-necked no longer. So this concept of stiff neck is like you have an animal that's hard to turn. Like you be trying to like, hey, let's go left, and they just refuse. Go right, they refuse. Stop, and they want to go. Go, and they want to stop. It's this concept of not being able to hear a word, and really it's from leadership. That's what Musha was, because them people wasn't hearing from Yahuwah. Well, no Egyptians hearing the voice of Yahuwah. It says he heard the word of Yahuwah, but it probably came through the mouth of Aharon. That's why he said, I'm going to make Musha Alua the Pharaoh, and Aharon's going to be the prophet, because everything that I tell Musha, Aharon going to speak, because that's the role of a prophet. The prophet hears the word from Alua, then he speaks what's said. So the word of Alua, that usually means it came through a form of prophecy. It wasn't that the Egyptians had some vision or a dream about this word of Yahuwah. But if you're stiff-necked, so Proverbs 29:1, it says, he who hardens his neck and refuses instruction after being often corrected will suddenly be broken in that without repair. So that's why this thing with the narcissist, why Yahuwah continues to harden the heart, because it's almost like taking a hammer at this piece of wood. If you keep hitting this thing, eventually it's going to break. But Yahuwah allows that to happen, 1, for a sign, but then 2, so that everybody else can see it and begin to turn. It even talks about it in Yirmiyahu, when he's like, man, you got to circumcise your heart and be stiff-necked no longer. Because this is something like Yahusha said at Pesach, man. I was going through the Pesach video, this Boker, and he says that ministry is for captivity. The only reason that like counseling, the deliverances, all these things is for captivity. You don't see deliverances when we had our own land, but ministry is because you're ministering to broken people. But if we ever going to become a nation, because everybody's already healed, but that requires you can't be a narc, and then your neck, you have to be able to turn it, and that's a sign of not being a narc. But if you find yourself in situations where somebody always got to tell you the same thing over and over again, you always got to be told something, that's because your neck is hard. And you got to like start stiff-necked. You got to start paying real close attention, because in the eternal ecstasy, as we go into the kingdom, it ain't going to be no ministry. It ain't gonna be like counseling sessions like that. If you're in the betrothal process, yeah, that's different. But as far as like, man, these are what my emotions are, these are what my feelings are, you gotta get that stuff zipped up. Because Malek said it, ministry is for captivity. And that just set with me, and it ties into how, anyway, I ain't gonna keep going, but yeah.
No, that's real. No, ministry is, we was always a nation. I actually talked about it this Pesach. How you only really seen like the assemblies and minutes like when we were in captivity. You only seen that when we was like, in captivity to the other neighbors, like, but it was always about us being a kingdom. But stiff-necked is kaseh, so it's very similar to rainbow. I thought that was interesting. That's rainbow, kashet. Stiff-neck is it's really kaseh or rep, or rep neck, but the part of the stiff is kaseh. And It's literally about continually, you know, that's the kuf is appointed time, or it's like continually, perpetually pressing against revelation. Continually or perpetually pressing against revelation. And so, literally, that's, because that's, yeah, like you can't, you trying to show them, you just like, I don't know why they don't see it. You'll put the whole Augusta, because you want to see them get healed. You put the whole narc series, and he'll be watching. He'll be like, look at that. See, that's how you be doing. And the whole thing talking about him, and don't see it. Pressing against revelation. Pharaoh, Moshe, like, man, the Lord of our fathers came to visit us. He said, you know, let us go or else. And Pharaoh was just like, yeah, nah. Pressing against revelation. He was getting the information. He was getting the revelation. That's why Moshe had to go before Pharaoh and say and give Pharaoh the chance to let him go first before Yahuwah could have, because Yahuwah was just. Because in our mind, we're like, man, the Mizrahites were wicked. They were already subduing them in captivity. That should have been enough. The Most High just go on and judge them, just go on and rain down the hell and all that on them. But the Most High, he sends his sons of light first to go before them and to give him a chance. And he has to reject it. He has to reject it in the earth realm. Then it's like, okay, all right, boom, here you go, boom. Little specific revelation. Hey, if you don't do this, gonna turn the water, all your water sources are gonna be jacked up. If you don't do this, all you gotta do is do it. Yeah, nah, All right, Yahuwah. You see what I'm saying? Pressing against revelation. Y'all, we are. But yeah, it's this concept where the sons of light have to be rejected in a sense to cause those things to happen. Even with Lot, Sodom and Gomorrah y'all know Sodom and Gomorrah was there for like 400 years? They were always wicked. How come they didn't get destroyed until Lot came there? You see what I'm saying? It had to be a son of light to come there and for them to reject them, you know, and come against them. Then, oh man, didn't you have the two Malachim come? Didn't they try to lay with them? That was it. Oh yeah, that was it. That's the concept. But yeah.
So just real quick, I know you got something there, but real quick. So this is Bereshit 15. This is what Yahuwah says to Abraham. Man, let me just look at it, man. Bereshit 15:16. It says, I started 14, but I will punish the nation that they serve. We know this, right? This is the covenant. This is the promise. Hey, man, your people going to go to this land. Talking about here 400 years, they're going to serve them. He says, I'm going to punish the nation that they serve, and afterward they will come out with great possessions. You, however, will go to your ancestors in shalom and be buried at a good old age. In the fourth generation, your descendants will come back here because the sin of the Amorites has not yet reached its full measure. Like there was this whole cycle that Yahuwah took us on because he was waiting on these people's sin to fill up. That's why in Revelation it talks about how the cup of Yahuwah's wrath is filling up against the nations. But you know what fills up the cup of Yahuwah's wrath? Injustice. So that's why we got to get to the mindset where we're not surprised when things like that happen. Where we got to see it to like, okay, the Malachim came into Sodom and we was talking about this some time ago, but the Malachim came into Sodom and Gomorrah and them people had to do that. They had to come knock on the door and say, let us take them. Moses had to go and be denied all them times because all that is Yahuwah filling up wrath. And then at the appointed time, he pours it out. So this is probably the tipping point, y'all. Like what Mushal said was huge because it took, like, because think about it. There's even a scripture in Psalms where it talks about how Ephraim came out with bows basically against Egypt in some of these words. Yahuwah ain't judged Egypt over that. Yahuwah judged Egypt when Pharaoh looked at Moses and said, I'm not going to do what you telling me to do. That's when it happened. All them babies that Egypt killed. Yahuwah ain't judged Egypt for that. He waited, and then when he said, hey, the son of light done went in there, and I'm going to tell him no, that's when the judgment came. Same thing happened in Rome. It was the exact same thing. You even see that in Greece. But anyway, I just wanted to add that because that's just a huge revelation what you were sharing. Because I was talking to Dawood about this last night. I had talked to Hadassah just a few weeks ago about it. Like, we have to be at a place to where we waiting on Yahuwah's wrath to fill up, and we confident knowing that he gonna judge the situation. Can't be frustration like, man, Yahuwah, why this happening? Why? Because you a son of light. That's why it's happening. You a son of light. I need them to tell you no so that I can step in and judge them. Even the people on the land, if you look at the Facebook post from Sukkot, there was that black lady, what she say? She said something like, they here now y'all in trouble. Like, she said, y'all in trouble now, all them tents out there. So they know it. I think that was Ruaco. That was very Ruaco, man. That's what we waiting on. That's who we are, but you got to be righteous. Paul said that, and be ready to avenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. So you can't be out there and sin and talking about you going to go in some place and you're going to wind up catching that heat. That's what you're going to wind up catching. But anyway, that's it.
Kafel Hudim Ab and Hudim where's due. So it's very interesting that you bringing this out, Ab, in reference to like the narcissist that Pharaoh was and just not letting stuff go. Because when I was reading the Torah portion, Exodus 8 verse 2 and even Exodus 9 verse 2 and probably in other places, it says, if you refuse to let them go and still hold them, but that them is italicized. So what it's saying is if you refuse to let go of what? Your pride, because it didn't say them. It said let go, if you refuse to let go. And so when I was reading, I was like, man, what is he holding on to? And then it talked about all the calamities that would happen. And even prior to Exodus 8 verse 2, that's, the water turned to blood and the staff turned into a serpent. And he saw these things and then it's like, okay, now you need to let go of your pride because you see what I could do, and he still didn't let go. And then more stuff happened. Then we go to Exodus 9 and he was like, yeah, now you need to let go. And he still didn't let go. So it was that pride of like a narcissist that you was talking about. And I wanted to just comment on something else you said really fast in reference to what you were saying about the land and stuff. And that kind of is something similar that happened at my job. I guess I was up for review or something, and I know like I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing. I know you have little things here and there, but for the most part, I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing and just kind of going above and beyond. And then when I was speaking to the owner, they was like, yeah, well, we just want to see if you could do this, this, and this, and then we'll, consider giving you a raise or consider doing this. And, I wasn't even getting the full 40 hours a week like I, needed and wanted to get. And, I was just like, oh, okay. And I just I was like, oh, okay, I hear you. I'll, do the things I need to do. And so I, spoke to Ab and Aman. And then I was basically like, yeah, you need to look for another job and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, okay. So one of the main reasons was because I needed like 40 hours or as close to 40 hours as I could get. And so when I was job hunting, I get his job that they was like, yeah, we could give you 15 hours a week. And I was like, yeah, that ain't it. Because I need close to 40. But that was the job I was supposed to take. So I was like, what? But, praise Yahuwah, that's what Yahuwah want me to do. So I started thinking all kind of things in my mind. I was like, oh, well, maybe Yahuwah just want me to be home longer so I could spend more time in prayer, so I could watch teachings. I was just telling myself all kind of stuff because it didn't make sense. I was just trying to make sense out of it. So then I went back to my job right before Sukkot and I put in my 2 weeks. I was like, yeah, I have to go, it's some stuff I dealing with, I basically was like, they was like, why? Why you're so great? What can we do? And I was like, well, I have some stuff I have to deal with my family. So, like family stuff and, stuff like that, which I need the hours I need. So that's family stuff. But, then that was a clinical director. So she was like, okay, well, I hear you, if you change your mind, if there's anything, just please let us know. And she spoke to the owner. So then the owner reached out to me, which it was the owner that spoke to me about the review in the first place. And and was telling me like, I just need to do this, and this. And I was like, okay, I hear y'all do those things and stuff like that. So the owner reached out to me while I think I was at Sukkot or going to Sukkot, and it was like, yeah, we hear that you're leaving. What can we do? Is it pay? Is it time? What is it? So then I reached out to Mushal and I was like, yeah, so this is what they're talking about. And then he was like, okay, well, ask them if they could pay you this amount. So then I reached out and then they was like, yeah, we'll consider that for sure. When you come back, let's talk. So when I reached back, because when I came back from Sukkot, I was only supposed to work that she, and then I was supposed to start my next job on Shini. So I was only going to be there one more day. So when I went back to work, they was like, we'll pay you this. And it was even more than what I asked for. And they was like, oh, we just needed you to, it's fine. You're great. We don't want you to leave. And it does make me think like, and then he said this thing, and it was just like, man, he was like, we was just dangling this carrot in front of you. And I was like, what? But it made me think about what Musha was saying in reference to, you just have to move in obedience and do what you're supposed to do, and Yahuwah is gonna bring judgment. He's gonna fight for you. So that was that situation, and then they end up paying me more than what I asked for. So praise Yahushua.
All right, so I was just gonna land back off of what Bakir Amin was saying about how Yahuwah waits for the nations to do something to Yasharal before he judges them. And I remember last week we were talking about the how our people cry out, and then how Yahuwah answers when this people cries out. And we were talking about Revelation 6, and it was saying, at verse 10, it says, and they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Yahuwah, Kodesh and true, until you judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the rest? And then it said in verse 11, then a white robe was given to each one of them, and it said to them that they should rest a little while longer until both the number of their fellow servants and their brethren who would be killed as they were completed. So I always heard that. I was like, what does that even mean? And it's saying, Yahuwah is saying, I'm going to save y'all. I'm going to bring y'all out of this place. I'm going to bring y'all into the kingdom of Shamayim after he lets them finish doing what they're going to do, after they kill the rest of the people that they're going to kill, in order for me, because the judgment that Yahuwah is about to bring upon us, it's going to be uncomprehendable. It's going to be a completely different level. Like, we look at what happened with the 10 plagues. Nah, this is going to be way crazier than that. Way crazier than that. Praise Yahuwah, though. Praise Yahuwah. I'm going to need the mic again.
All right. So we at where we at? Oh, okay. So I think we 443. Oh no, we at 4. We just did Shoshone. Okay, so we at 442. Okay. So Radayahu said rain is also related to teachings, revelations. Rainbows come due to the way the light refracts off the water droplets in the air after it rains. So the dominion of the seed, rainbow, comes from the sons of light, sunlight, receiving the revelation of Yahuwah, refraction.
Oh, snap.
The dominion
snap.
of the seed.
I looked into it. I looked it up on Google, how a rainbow works. And another thing is that the sun has to be positioned behind you for you to even be able to see the rainbow. So that's huge. Like, whenever if you listen to the What's Next teachings, it's talking about the rising of the sun, setting of the same. Like, you have to be able to receive the light from the Maleks, from the suns, to even be able to get this revelation. You gotta be like, it's deep. Like, whatever you were saying about the pressing against the revelation, that's not receiving a word from your leaders. That's all that is, not receiving a word from your from your heads. And just because of that, you not gonna receive the dominion. You'll be exiled, and it'll be gnashing the weep in the teeth. You'll be jealous. You'll be wishing that you had this, because you're gonna be seeing the dominion that the people who receive that light are getting, because you were pressing against it. Hallelujah.
Hezekiah Yahoo, laying back and off of a Cody holder. When training your children, sharpening your arrow in the word, they have to be watched closely and be dedicated, like the scripture Cody put. When you're sharpening an arrow, you're doing the same thing. Washing the child with the water of the word, like sharpening an arrow tip or weapon. Applying pressure and water on a stone, causing the blade to be sharpened. The child is dedicated to the stone.
Kefel Houdin. All praise to the Most High. You want to sit up here with me, Barry? You can sit up here with me. Nah, you through. And everybody can see you. Yeah, Hezekiah brought this out, though. This deep right now.
Yeah, they I don't know, they own something, man. They
going in.
I be having to go back and look at these afterwards. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know, refraction. Yeah. So let me finish what he said. He said, applying pressure and water. Stop, boy, sit down. Applying pressure and water on a stone, causing the blade to be sharpened. The child is dedicated to the stone, which is Yahuwah, by the pressure of the parents applying the word in the child's life daily. If the child's arrow isn't dedicated, chanuk, or sharpened, and is dull, the arrow won't be casted or shot. This is because the root word for Torah is yara, meaning to cast, so a child not dedicated to Torah won't even be eligible to hit the mark. Follow the law / Torah. Man, yeah, wow.
Oh, snap. So, oh, yeah, no, you brought it out because that's another layer to this thing. Is the word Torah is about we've been talking about it for a long time, how the word Torah is about an archer hitting the mark. The word Torah is about an archer hitting the mark. The word for spy is Tur. Tav Uaresh. If I remember right, I believe it's Tav Uaresh. So you can already see, just even from looking at that the sons of light, it has some sort of association with Torah. Some sort of association with Torah. And you can also see, like what Hezekiah was bringing out, is that raising up Kodesh seed or training up your child is associated with Torah. If you want your child to be because Torah is literally, the word is related to rain as well. That's why, it's all related. When I was telling y'all Moreh, Yare, rain, Moreh, Torah is also, that's all the same. They all related to each other. They maybe have a one-letter difference. Because Torah, a Moreh is not, like from a Hebraic aspect, a Moreh is not you can't be a Moreh unless you're teaching Torah. Like if you're not teaching, like the biblical the Hebraic breakdown of Moreh is associated with Torah. Rain, the rain of the word are arrows, because the thing about the word is that it cuts, it pierces like arrows. Listen, y'all. We supposed to be the word made flesh, in a sense, because we're the body of Yahusha, and Yahusha is the word made flesh. You see what I'm saying? And the word is related to Torah, which is like an arrow or rain, which can either wash you, being washed by the water of the word, or you can pierce somebody. the word can pierce, it can cut, it can destroy those who are not submitted to it. The last plague, at least in this Torah portion, was hell. It's this frozen rain coming down, destroying and killing, mingled with fire. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but anyway.
Behold, then Daud said to the Philistine, you come to me with the sword, with the spear, with the javelin. But I come to you in the name of Yahuwah Sabaoth, the allure of the armies of Yisrael, whom you have defiled. Fire. Shimshon. Man, Saul was being petty. It's like me giving Mac a pair of my shoes to hoop in. I know I'm setting them up for
For real, that's what he did, though. That's what I'm trying to help y'all understand how crazy this is.
Michael said somebody got to play basketball here. Wear my shoes and go.
He got size 13. Mac, like, he tried to put him in there. He like, all right, it's all right, man. Never. Like, all right.
Uriel said she had a comment.
Rush, what was that scripture you have bring up about the Amorites, something being fulfilled?
Bereshit 15:16.
Okay, no. But when it was saying that when the bondage was getting harder, like the children of Israel was like multiplying even more, it just had me thinking like it was as if Yahuwah was like building an army. Like they had to be there as long as they were for like a nation to be built, like an army, because they were going to come out as an army. For them to reach as far as they did in the wilderness, they would have had to be like a great army like that. You know what I mean? Even though, the next generation, they didn't make it into the promised land, but for them to get like where they were and to defeat all those people is like, they had to be an army. So I feel like, with them being there for so long, it seemed as though like they had to be built. Like it couldn't just be those 70 people who went in, Egypt that time. It had to be like a great nation, like a great army. So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, man, I'm learning that really patience is like patience is the ability to wait for eternity inside of time. Cause like everything is tied together. It's just about waiting for it. So you're right. Like, had they gone in there with 70 people, Yahuwah could do anything. But I'm just saying, just saying, there's some giants over there. Hoda, you see it in the word son, shemesh, shin, mem, shin. Yeah.
Yeah, let me say this too. Y'all got to understand how these fallen ones are. Like, do y'all know when the children of Israel were in captivity in Mitzrayim for maybe a couple of 100 years, right? Y'all got to think about this. Think about this. The giants were not like when Abraham and them were in the promised land, that the giants, the Most High had the giants already were destroyed by the Chedorlaomer, whatever his name is, the king of Elam. There weren't really giants in the land like that anymore, not on a high level. But the fallen ones knew that it was prophesied for the sons of Shem, the descendants of Yaakov, or the descendants of Abraham, to have that land. So what did the giants do? The children of Israel ended up being in captivity in Mitzrayim for a couple of 100 years. The fallen ones wouldn't have had as much seed as possible during that 200 years. So by the time you get to the days of Joshua, when they go over to try to take the promised land, it's full of giants, y'all. Full of giants. Like this is what they've been doing since day one. It's like this whole strategy to try to take dominion through by producing all this seed. It was so many giants, y'all, giant nations that was in the promised land by the time Joshua got there. That was his job. Yahuwah had him to go and subdue all of them. But it's the same thing that they did before the flood they ended up doing after during that time too. It's that same strategy.
So Hoda said, you see in the word sun, Shemesh, Shin Mem Shin, light overtaking the darkness or chaos.
Oh, let me say that. Let me say this real quick. My bad, real quick. They were trying to do that with us too, through perversion. See, the giants, the fallen ones, one of the big things they did was they introduced perversion on the earth, y'all. So, homosexuality, lesbianism, bestiality, all that perversion that you can think of, all those things that the Torah speaks against, they introduced that on the earth. That was introduced on the earth by the fallen ones, y'all. That's why sexual immorality was such a huge offense to the Most High. Huge. Huge. Because the fallen ones put that there to continue their seed on the earth by having, if we move in perversion and we have all these children that are brought forth through perversion, then that'll keep the kingdom of darkness in dominion. That's why it was that community that took the rainbow. That's why. You don't think they knew that? You don't think they knew that the rainbow was about dominion? That it was about having dominion on the earth through producing a seed? This is what we was talking about last night. The alphabet community, since they took that rainbow, they had, great dominion. A crazy amount of dominion. They've been moving mountains since they took that rainbow, for real. They make up maybe 1% of the population. Transgender make up .something% of the population. That's what we were talking about last night. And literally have so much dominion to where they made all the businesses have to change their rules and change their bathroom laws and everything. Because they walking around with that rainbow, because the power behind this whole LGBT community and all this stuff, the power behind it is the fallen ones. And they know about the rainbow. So, we got a great idea. Okay, what we'll do is we'll take the rainbow. They don't know nothing about it anyway. That's why it's so important that we got to reclaim this bow, y'all. It's so much dominion that this community has that they literally go into other nations and making them move in that too. A lot of the African countries was like, no, we don't do that here. No. They were getting mad. They were like, no, we don't do that here. Because the other nations, man, look, we was trying to, man, I didn't renounce and denounce that. In the name of Yahushua. Babylon was going over there to the other nations and pushing that on them. Y'all, the place that's called Israel today, they're like number 2 in the world in the LGBT. They have the second biggest gay event or something like that in the world. And what's the name of that city? Tel Aviv. That's the fallen ones. Now think about the seed that comes from perversion, the seed that comes out of that. Y'all, this was the fallen ones. Why do you think? By the time I was, there was whole neighborhoods that were as far as black communities. There was whole black communities where it's like 90% single parent households. Some of them higher than that. 80% single parent household. A whole neighborhood. I'm talking about big neighborhoods in major cities. 70, 80% single parent household, meaning those children were brought forth in fornication or some sort of perversion. They weren't brought forth in a marriage situation. You see what I'm saying? And so then what happened? You have this whole community and this whole generation of this seed that was produced, y'all. There was a seed that was produced in perversion and sin. It's this whole seed that was produced from fornication, from sexual immorality. Then you have these whole neighborhoods that are plagued with murder, drugs, The children are oppressing the elders. I've been talking about that for years. I remember it was normal for, when I was young, I'm talking about 18, 19, 20, it was normal for my homeboys who sold dope. They'll see an old man, he on crack, he coming asking for crack, and he don't have the money to do it. They'll just slap him. Man, get out my face, man, for real. Oh, come on, man, just this last time. Man, I let you hold something last time you ain't paid me back. Man, come on, man, bow. And we'll just be laughing. That's crazy. Yeah. The children are pressing the elders, y'all. And it's this seed produced. We thought it was normal. That's how, I didn't think nothing of it. Because in our mind, oh, man, he's just a crackhead, man. He's just a dope fiend. Man, nah, that's horrible. Nah, that's an elder. And you have whole generations of this seed being produced and wondering why we've been so destroyed and so in captivity for this 400 years. You see what I'm saying? That's the concept of Kodesh seed, y'all. It's counteracting those things. I know some of us was, well, a lot of us actually. I know a lot of us was a part of that. Was born in that, and that's why. Listen, that's why if we didn't go through the Aruka that we went through, that's why if we didn't go through the deliverance and the healing, we would have been right there with the wicked ones, chilling in darkness. But through the Most High's grace and through His Ahava for us, He gave us deliverance, healing, and He gave us the 100-fold family that we be redeemed from those situations. So that we, in turn, our children won't ever go through none of that stuff that we have went through. Our children won't think the things we thought was normal is normal at all. It won't be a thing. And so now you got arrows like a mug. Arrows against the nations being birthed forth left and right with dominion. Versus you have these whole communities of our people where literally it's just Sheol. Don't nobody even want to go to their communities no more. Anybody grew up in the hood or anything like that, nobody want to go there, man. It's Sheol. Anything can go, anything can happen. Because it's the fallen ones, their goal is to bring Sheol on the Eretz. Their goal is to bring Sheol to your neighborhoods, bring Sheol to your communities. That was a huge point. We was never really designed to be living in the same neighborhoods with the heathen, y'all. Raising our children amongst the heathen in their neighborhoods, in their communities. When you read Torah, when you read the scriptures, we always were amongst each other. We always were living in communities amongst ourselves. You see what I'm saying? That's why the Torah land is such a big deal. That Yahuwah has blessed us to where now we're moving towards that. You see what I'm saying? To where we won't be just being raised up in the heathens communities, in the heathens neighborhoods under their HOAs and stuff, and their school systems and all that. But we're doing it we're our own neighborhood. We'll be our own community, and we'll be raising our own children up together in that respect. All praise to the Most High.
Oh man. Bethel, the fallen ones had access to the things in the Shamayim/Revelation. It brought Sheol to the Eretz, causing chaos. Yahuwah is allowing us access to the Shamayim/Revelation to colonize the Eretz and bring the kingdom of the Shamayim to the Eretz. Belek Musha, a lineage is Yahuwah's weapon on the earth. There isn't a greater way to help Yahuwah than to give him faith with your lineage. Now he can fight against principalities and powers. Yahuwah's battle axes lineages. Kodesh seed is a weapon of mass destruction. Yahoo. Hashtag reclaiming the rainbow emoji, arrow being shot. Hezekiah. Okay, yeah, I think you got it. Yeah, okay. Hezekiah, in regard to Yahuwah being the one that gives the parent the name and the parent physically naming the child, who is shooting the arrow is also important. Who is shooting the arrow is also important. I don't get that one. Who's the one shooting it though? Oh, you're saying the parents are important. Oh, okay. Hallelujah. In the peculiar means comment on a baby never coming out naming themselves. A baby / child can't cast or shoot themselves. Con. Yeah, the parents are important also. I see what you're saying here now. Okay, that's stupid, man. From Zuri, we learned that Keshet is rainbow in school.
Oh, that's cool.
Hallelujah.
Hebrew Academy represent.
Ah.
See, that's a big deal because y'all the arrows we shooting, Zuri. See? Yeah. Hebrew Academy.
Akalesh Asaf Yahu, land back off of Hezekiah when he said a child can't cast themselves. How you raise up your children will determine how far you can cast them. That's fire. If you draw back a bow an inch, that arrow won't go far at all, versus drawing it all the way back as far as the bow allows. When we pour into the Kodesh seed, they can be weapons in their seed weapons for many generations. Yeah. That's really interesting.
Man, this is, y'all going in.
It does make me wonder what the bow is. We know what the children are. We know the bow. Maybe that's like the covenant or Emunah or something.
That's a good question. It has something to do with the covenant because it's kashet. The appointed time of destruction according to the covenant. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's just make me think. It's something to meditate on for me. Bakir Luvubal, it is very important not to let our past experiences determine who we are and whose we are in this walk, as the children of Israel did coming out of Babylon. They couldn't let go of Babylon because of the trauma they suffered while they were in captivity. We must remember, if Yahuwah is for us, who can be against us? That's why renouncing and denouncing to separate ourselves from Babylon is so important. That's it. That's it. Shashon Yahoo said, comment. Oh, yeah, you can have Mike. It's right there. Yep. Hallelujah.
Testing. I was just going to say, I'll pass because I forgot. It was something that you mentioned, but I forgot. So.
You got to do like Uriel. She'll put like one of the a word of what she wants to comment, then say comment.
Okay, and then Kafel Hudim Ma and on it, Hudim Peker Ezra had Uriel.
Akalesh Asaf-Yahu said, D-Roar has a comment.
So I just wanted to comment on, we were talking about names and like the significance of names and how it has a lot to do with like your identity. So just like a little funny thing that I thought of. At work, I come across a lot of like interesting names. And I had this one patient, she came up and it was like one of those names like, she basically acted how her name sounded like. And like one of the names that Mushal be coming up with. Like her name was like Squamika or something. And I had to ask how she spelled her name, and some patients get offended when I ask them, like, okay, how do you spell that? And it was like
spell how it sounds.
SQ, like basically she didn't have like a through ruach about her. She sounded how her name sounded. And it just goes back to like the identity where Yahuwah's giving us a name. He's renaming us. He's calling us by name, and just the significance of that. Like when you think of a college, what's your name? Like you think of consuming fire or met is truth. Like people are gonna associate our names with the ruach of our names, if that makes sense. So I just think that's like, and Yahuwah's everybody's gonna know our name. They're gonna associate us with Yahuwah's kabod because he's called us by name.
Con, man.
Yeah, because we call it a name, but really what we're doing is we're calling somebody this thing. Like when we say Asaf, we're saying gatherer. It's not. It's a function. We're calling. So we're actually calling that person that function, and because life and death is in the power of the tongue, you don't have a choice but to become that thing that you're called. Yeah, let me say that. Let me say that differently. You're going to become that thing that you're called, and then of course with the Babylonian way that we were raised, we have to be healed of that thing that we've been called. So, yeah, that's a through point you brought up though. Hezekiah Yahu from Zerah. The rainbow was about dominion through the Kodesh seed. The rainbow is about dominion through the Kodesh seed, but Babylon took the rainbow and made a sign the four people who don't produce any kind of seed at all. Made a sign for the people who don't produce any seed at all. Rainbow is about dominion through. Oh, I get it. Yeah, they can't produce seed. I see. They figuring that thing out though, man. Hey, they out there figuring that stuff out, ain't they? They still can't do it on their own, though. You right.
No, that's a very interesting point.
Okay, Mushala Ahmed. It's about the yes, in response to what Zuri said. It's about the appointed ones of the covenant being divided or separated. Man, okay, you broke down the word there, kashet. Yeah, the appointed ones of the covenant being divided or separated. Praise the Most High.
Con. So that's a through breakdown too. So you in here. What I got out of it was the appointed time for destruction according to the covenant. It was something like that. Appointed time for destruction according to the covenant. Because the rainbow is a sign that it surrounds around basically the destruction of the nations according to the covenant. You know, basically the Most High judging the nations. Because when what does he say? When Yahuwah judges the nations, what do he always say? I remember my covenant. I heard the cries of my people. Therefore, I'm gonna come and destroy the nations. That's Kashet, the rainbow.
Ima Angie. I'm still wondering if Roche having a vision of an upside down rainbow when we were on Torah land this past week has anything to do with us taking it back. Yeah, I don't know. It was, and I didn't really say that as well. So what I saw was a rainbow, but then what I saw like the same shape upside down, but it was only like one hue. It was like a I mean, you know, disability, right? But it was like a blue, purple kind of just, it looked more like what Shoshone saw in her vision. It was like this road almost. It wasn't like a rainbow that was upside down. I just didn't explain it well when I saw it. Because I was praying out loud and y'all just, I didn't intend to say it out loud. Y'all was just there when, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, it was on the Mishpaka call 2 weeks ago. But it might have something to do with it. I'm not saying it doesn't. It just might be one piece at a time or something.
They do have moon bows too. I think they call it a moon bow. It's a moon rainbow, and it's kind of like that hue. It's like a purplish. It's not multiple colors like the sun version of the rainbow, but it's like more like one hue.
Maybe that's what that was. Amma said, "Does the rainbow?" Oh, from Anthony. Does the rainbow represent generations?
I would say Khan, because generations is about bringing forth seed, bringing forth the children. the children's children. So I would say Khan. Yep. Through question, son. Through question.
And nothing else said I have a comment about reclaiming the bow in the alphabet community. I'm sorry. That's it. A moon bow. She just showed me a picture of it. Yeah, that's what it looked like. It was upside down, like it was a rainbow this way, and then there was a moon bow like this. It looked just like that one. God, she gonna put it in the chat.
Kafel Houdim and Houdim where they are due. So the LGBT community isn't something new, like Mushal said. Actually, somehow I learned this in philosophy class, but ancient Greek philosophers like your Aristotle and things like that, they were gay too. Like the way you became a philosopher was the top philosopher of the day would come lay with you, and he would lay with you while he was training you up. And then it's to the point where when you got married, your wife would dress up as a man during your marriage to make the transition easier, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so, no, that's real. I'm glad he brought that out. So, when you're talking about the Greeks and the Romans, man, you talking about the Europeans? When they first, like, the Greeks was the first, like, real European, like, kingdom. Oh, man, they were all gay. They were. They were given over to perversion. They were big on molestation. It was big for, but it was like normalized in that culture for someone to like mess with children, things like that. Extremely perverse, extremely. Like they would have, those little, I don't know what they call them, community places. They'll just be naked. This is the Greek Empire. The gyms, the gymnasiums, the original gymnasiums come from the Greeks. They was naked in them things. That's why during the days of the Maccabees, the Israelites were trying to reverse their circumcision. They were trying to reverse their circumcision because I guess, they were getting, I don't know, they were trying to be like the Greeks basically. And they were all naked anyway. And I guess because they were circumcised, they was looked at differently for that. But it's those who are in covenant with the fallen ones who go into this perversion stuff, y'all. That's where it all boils down to. But as far as taking the rainbow, that's what I want to look at. I'm trying to see when did they take the rainbow. I don't remember them taking the rainbow till I was grown. At least I don't remember noticing that until I was grown. I don't remember seeing that like in high school or anything like that. So I am curious to. Like, when was the rainbow the symbol of, the LGBT? And, they call it pride. Ain't that crazy? They call it pride. Because that's something that I think might have been more, relatively recent within the last, my guess, 20 years or so. 1978? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to do some research on that. I think it'll be later than that. Because there's a difference between it being introduced versus when it actually became the symbol of 1994. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. All right. It was rocking it before that. You were in California, so y'all, that was... Because I remember this girl having it, and I didn't know what it meant. Okay. Well, maybe that's been around.
Nathaniel comment remind me of the movie 300. Y'all seen? Most of y'all done seen that. When so Leonidas is talking to this dude, who's like, "Hey, we should just surrender. They're immortal." And Leonidas is like, "Well, I hear the Athenians have already turned you down, and if those philosophers and boy lovers, y'all ain't seen it? Oh man, all right, never mind. 300. That movie is off the chain, man. That's one of my favorite movies. Those philosophers and boy lovers have turned you down. He's basically saying we gotta fight. We gotta fight. All right. Y'all ain't seen 300?
I think it was a long time ago.
2 people? What? 3? Dang. All right. Even that movie about us. Yeah, it's about us. You can read it in Maccabees. All right, anyway. All right, let's keep on. So Isha put, okay, yeah. So yeah, she put the picture of what I saw in there. It's a website. You don't got to click on the website. But that's what it looked like, right? That's exactly what it looked like, just upside down. That's a moon bow that Mushaw was talking about. God, yeah, that's how it looked in your vision. That's how I thought it looked the way you described it. That's why I was like, man, no, that's what it looked like upside down. I didn't know what to call it. Hezekiah put a picture of the moon in here. He said this was after last Rosh Kodesh. Isha said, interesting, a rainbow is actually a full circle. Nathaniel said, this is the kuf, the ayin. That's a, oh, kuf. I thought about kaf, yeah. Kuf, yeah.
Snap. I can see that, how the rainbow is kind of like a kuf.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Hezekiah's picture? Yeah, it looks like a kuf, Khan. I can see that.
oh, okay. That's a kuf. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So, Isha Adasa put the article about how a rainbow is a full circle in here. And then Kalesh put a picture, oh, I remember this, from Sukkot 2023 in here of the rainbow that came.
And about 300, so 300 was about this, that was a small army, but they was just subduing everybody. And y'all know that's about us, because y'all know Gideon was the 300, right? And they had that dominion. That's the Sheen, though. I want to bring that up because that's the Sheen. So the Sheen is, I believe, isn't that 300? Yeah, that's a numerical value 300. I'm pretty sure it is. And so that's, again, the Sheen also was about having dominion through war, oppression, and crush. It's another aspect of the Sheen. But yeah. It's like having dominion with a small number. All right, all praise to the Most High.
Rebirth of a nation. Hebrew kingdom building.